3 minutes ago, Eric Swallwell did what everyone has been waiting for someone to finally do. He didn't ask nicely. He didn't tiptoe around it. He didn't rely on cautious political phrasing meant to keep things calm. He looked Cash Patel straight in the eye and said the name nobody in Washington wants tied to those files: Trump. Then he demanded answers about Epstein. Watch this video all the way through, because once you see the look on Patel's face, everything clicks. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications, because this story is only getting started. I want you to hear about every update first. Let me set the stage. It was a Senate Intelligence Committee closed-door session that got switched to an open session at the last minute, which should have been everyone's first hint that something out of the ordinary was about to happen. Swalwell had asked for the change himself, saying the American people deserved to see it. Now we know why. Patel came in with his usual confidence. 3 lawyers, 2 aides, and that familiar walk. The one, shoulders back, chin up. The "I've handled worse than this" stride. He's sat through dozens of hearings. He knows how to handle aggressive questions. He knows how to burn time. But he wasn't ready for Swalwell. The first 40 minutes were routine, intelligence budget items, counterterrorism updates, some sparring over surveillance procedures. Patel did fine, gave his standard non-answers, checked his watch twice, looked uninterested. Then Swalwell took the mic. Director Patel, I want to talk about the Epstein files. That Patel's face barely moved. He'd heard it before. He had the stock replies ready. Of course, Senator, as I've said in prior testimony, I'm not interested in your prior testimony. Swalwell opened a folder, read thick, organized with colored tabs. I'm interested in what you haven't told us. The atmosphere shifted. You could feel it. That moment when everyone realizes something is about to happen. Specifically, Swalwell continued, I want to know why every document in the Epstein files that references Donald Trump has been reclassified since you became FBI Director. Total silence. I've been in quiet rooms before, but this was different. 50 people all stopped breathing at once. Patel's face cycled through 3 looks in about 2 seconds. Surprise, anger, and then the mask, the practiced political mask that says, I'm in control. Senator, I'm not aware of any reclassification specifically aimed at documents involving any individual. You're not aware. Swalwell pulled out a paper. This is an internal FBI memo dated March 15th of this year, 3 months after you took office. It instructs the Classification Review Board to conduct an expedited review of all Epstein-related documents that reference current government officials and their associates. He held it up for the cameras. It's signed by your deputy director. You telling me you didn't know about this? Patel glanced at his lawyers. They had nothing, no note, no whispered advice. He was on his own. Senator, classification reviews are routine procedures. That there's nothing routine about this. Swalwell's voice climbed, not yelling yet, but close. 23 documents that were previously cleared for release have been reclassified since you took office. 23. And every single one contains references to Donald Trump that he leaned in. That isn't coincidence, Director. That's a pattern. Then things blew up. Patel tried to pivot, tried to make it political, tried to cast Swalwell as a partisan attacker. Senator, I find it disappointing that members of this committee keep pursuing politically motivated. Swalwell gave a short, sharp laugh, not amused, more bitter. Director Patel, I'm not the one who reclassified documents to shield the former president. You are. I'm not the one who swore an oath to uphold the law and then buried evidence. You did. Now his voice was rising. You could see the anger building. Do you know what's in those documents, Director? Do you know what the American people would see if you actually released them? Patel's jaw tightened. Senator, I'm not going to speculate about classified. Then let me help you. Swalwell pulled out another document. This is an unclassified summary of witness testimony from 2019. A woman who worked at Epstein's Palm Beach residence. She provided 14 names of men she personally saw there with underage girls. He looked directly at Patel. One of those names was Donald Trump. The room erupted, not literally, but almost. Audible gasps. Reporters scrambling for phones. Committee members exchanging looks ranging from shock to finally someone said it. Patel tried to answer. Senator, that testimony has been thoroughly reviewed and what? Classified, hidden, buried. Swalwell was standing now, actually standing. I've never seen a senator rise like that mid-hearing. The FBI has had that testimony for 6 years. 6 years. And instead of investigating, instead of following up, instead of doing your job, you reclassified it. He pointed at Patel. You didn't protect national security. You protected Donald Trump, and everyone in this room knows it. This is the part that's going to be everywhere tonight. Swalwell lifted a large color photograph so everyone, including the cameras, could see it. Do you recognize this photo, Director Patel? It was Trump and Epstein, the well-known Mar-a-Lago photo from 1997, both smiling, both looking like longtime friends because they were. This photo has been public for years, Swalwell said. Everyone's seen it. But what people haven't seen are the 37 other photos from that same event, photos currently sitting in FBI evidence storage, photos you have refused to release. He set the photo down. What's in those photos, Director? What are you hiding? Patel was sweating now, actually sweating. You could see it on his forehead under the hearing room lights. Senator, the release of evidence photos involves complex considerations involving privacy, ongoing investigations, and there is no ongoing investigation. Swalwell slammed his hand on the desk. The microphone jolted. Epstein is dead. Maxwell is in prison. The investigation is over. The only reason to keep those photos classified is because someone powerful doesn't want them released. He stared at Patel, and we both know who that someone is. Now I need to pause and say this. If you've made it this far and this content matters to you, please like the video. I mean it. This isn't just for me. YouTube needs to show this to more people. And put your thoughts in the comments. We have to expand this conversation. 20 seconds of silence. In congressional hearings, 20 seconds is forever. It's the witness admitting they don't have an answer. It's the moment everyone watching realizes they're witnessing something historic. Patel sat frozen. His lawyers were useless. His scripted responses were useless. Everything he rehearsed was useless against someone willing to say out loud what everyone else only whispers. Finally, he spoke. His voice was lower now, defensive. Senator, I categorically reject any suggestion that the FBI has acted to protect any person, regardless of political status. Our classification decisions are based solely on legitimate national security and law enforcement considerations. Swalwell slowly shook his head. Director Patel, here's what I see. I see an FBI director appointed by Donald Trump who owes his career to Donald Trump, who has spent the last 11 months systematically burying evidence that connects Donald Trump to a convicted sex trafficker. He gathered his papers. That's not law enforcement. That's obstruction. And I promise the American people this committee will get to the bottom of it, even if I have to subpoena every document in that building myself. Technically, the hearing went on after that. Other senators asked other questions, something about cybersecurity, something about foreign interference. No one cared. No one was listening because the only thing anyone could think about was what Swalwell had just said out loud on camera, on the record. Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files, and Cash Patel has been hiding it. Within minutes, clips were everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, cable news cut into regular programming. Legal analysts were already debating whether Patel had committed obstruction of justice. And somewhere inside FBI headquarters, staffers were probably scrambling to figure out how to answer questions nobody was supposed to ask. I need to stop here and explain why this matters so much. For years, people have speculated about what's in the Epstein files, who else was involved, which powerful figures were protected. It's fueled conspiracy theories, Reddit deep dives, and countless late-night conversations. But speculation isn't the same as evidence. And what Swalwell did was put evidence on the table, real documents, real memos, real witness testimony that is names. And the name that keeps appearing, the name that keeps being protected, the name every reclassified document seems to revolve around is Trump. I'm not saying Trump is guilty of anything. That isn't my role. My role is to tell you what happened in that hearing room. And what happened is this. A United States senator presented evidence that the FBI has been systematically shielding the former president from material connecting him to Jeffrey Epstein. If that doesn't worry you, I don't know what will. Here's what comes next. Swalwell announced the committee will issue subpoenas for all 23 reclassified documents. He's demanding a closed-door briefing with the Classification Review Board. He's calling for an inspector general investigation into Patel's handling of Epstein-related evidence. Will any of it actually happen? I don't know. Washington is good at burying things. People move on. New scandals take over. The news cycle keeps spinning. But this clip isn't disappearing. That Trump and Epstein photo isn't disappearing. And the question Swalwell asked, what are you hiding, isn't disappearing either. Patel has to answer. He has to explain why 23 documents were reclassified. He has to explain why every one of them involves Trump. He has to look the American people in the eye and claim it's all just coincidence. Good luck with that. I keep replaying that moment. Swalwell standing, pointing at Patel, saying what everyone has thought for years, but no one with real power has dared to say. You protected Donald Trump, and everyone in this room knows it. That isn't politics. That's an accusation. And accusations like that don't simply vanish. They linger. They demand answers. They create pressure that keeps building until something gives. Something is going to give here. I can feel it. Maybe not today. Maybe not this week. But the wall protecting those files, the wall Patel has been maintaining, is cracking. Swalwell just swung a sledgehammer into it. 3 minutes.
That's all it took for Eric Swallwell to do what nobody else would. Say the name, make the connection, and demand answers. Cash Patel clearly doesn't want to give. The Epstein files and Donald Trump, it's not just a conspiracy theory anymore. It's on the congressional record. And Patel sat there sweating under the lights with no answer and nowhere to hide. The truth is coming out, one hearing at a time. One document at a time, one brave senator at a time.
If you're wondering where this goes next, there's only one thing you need to do. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'm going to keep tracking this, and when something breaks, you'll see it here. Also, share this video with your friends. This conversation has to grow. And by the way, do you know what happened before Patel blew up today? Jim Jordan. Yes, Jim Jordan asked Patel, where are the Epstein files, and exposed Patel's lie live on air. If you haven't seen that video, you won't understand the full story. Watch that one to see how Jordan cornered Patel first, and then everything Swalwell did today will make a lot more sense. Stay tuned.